True love, as taught by the Buddha, transcends fleeting emotions and superficial attractions. It is not merely about romance or attachment. It is a deeper, transformative experience rooted in compassion, understanding, and selflessness. In Buddhist teachings, true love is an expression of the highest form of kindness and care for others, intertwined with our own path to inner peace. True love begins with loving kindness, a quality the Buddha described as the unconditional wish for all beings to be happy. It's a love that doesn't depend on circumstances or personal gain, but flows freely from the heart. Loving kindness requires us to see beyond the surface and connect with the shared humanity of all individuals. When we practice this quality, we become a source of warmth and light in the lives of others, offering our love without strings attached. Each day we can cultivate loving kindness by silently repeating the phrase, "May all beings be happy and free from suffering." This simple act can shift our mindset, allowing our thoughts and actions to reflect genuine care. The practice of loving kindness begins with ourselves. Often, we are our harshest critics, holding ourselves to impossible standards. Embracing our imperfections is a profound act of self-love. When we learn to treat ourselves with the same tenderness we offer others, we create a foundation for true love to flourish. It's in accepting ourselves as we are that we unlock the ability to extend that same compassion to the people around us. Each moment becomes an opportunity to embody loving kindness, transforming ordinary interactions into meaningful connections. Compassion, or karuna, is another essential quality of true love. It is the heartfelt desire to ease the suffering of others, a love that moves us to action. Compassion goes beyond passive concern. It requires us to be present with someone's pain and respond with patience and understanding. When we see a friend struggling or a stranger in need, we can embody compassion by offering a listening ear or a small act of kindness. Even a simple gesture, such as a smile or a word of encouragement, can remind someone they are not alone in their pain. Practicing compassion means imagining another's pain as our own, connecting to their experience with empathy rather than judgment. This does not mean taking on their suffering as a burden, but instead recognizing our shared humanity. Every person we encounter carries their struggles, joys, and stories. Compassion allows us to approach them with an open heart, free from preconceived notions or selfish agendas. In doing so, we cultivate love that is active and transformative, a love that seeks to heal rather than to possess. Sympathetic joy, or mudita, is the ability to celebrate the happiness of others without envy or comparison. In a world that often pits individuals against one another, this quality of true love can be revolutionary. It's not always easy to feel joy for others, especially when we are facing challenges of our own. Yet, practicing sympathetic joy allows us to rise above feelings of lack and connect with the abundance that surrounds us. When someone shares good news, we can practice this quality by fully immersing ourselves in their joy, genuinely expressing happiness for their success or blessings. In cultivating sympathetic joy, we learn that love is expansive rather than limited. Another person's joy does not diminish our own. It enriches it. When we genuinely celebrate the victories and milestones of those around us, we deepen our bonds and foster a spirit of generosity. This practice invites us to shift our focus from comparison to connection, allowing us to experience the fullness of life's shared moments. The simple act of saying, "I'm truly happy for you," and meaning it can transform relationships, making love a force that uplifts everyone it touches. Equanimity, or upekkha, is the foundation of true love. It is the quality of balance and non-attachment, the ability to love deeply without clinging or expecting anything in return. Equanimity teaches us that love is not about control or possession, but about freedom. This freedom allows us to embrace impermanence, the natural ebb and flow of life, and love without fear of loss. Reflecting on the impermanence of all things can help us approach love with a sense of peace and acceptance, rather than grasping or clinging. When we practice equanimity, we recognize that love is not diminished by change or separation. Instead, it grows stronger as we let go of the need to control outcomes. Loving deeply while holding space for freedom creates relationships that are rooted in respect and mutual growth. This doesn't mean detachment in a cold or indifferent sense, but rather a loving presence that honors the autonomy of others. By letting go of attachment, we create room for true love to flourish, unencumbered by fear or expectation. Each of these qualities, loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, offers a unique pathway to understanding and embodying true love. They are not separate practices, but interwoven aspects of a holistic approach to love. Together, they guide us to love others selflessly while nurturing our inner peace and resilience. True love, as the Buddha taught, is not a fleeting emotion or a transactional exchange. It is a state of being, a way of relating to the world that brings harmony to ourselves and those around us. In practicing loving kindness, we plant seeds of goodwill in every interaction. These seeds grow into acts of kindness, words of encouragement, and moments of connection that brighten the lives of others. Compassion deepens this love, urging us to step into the shoes of others and respond to their pain with care and understanding. Sympathetic joy invites us to share in their happiness, creating a world where love is a celebration rather than a competition. Equanimity, the grounding force, reminds us that love is most powerful when it is free from conditions and expectations. As we integrate these qualities into our lives, we begin to see love not as something we seek, but as something we embody. Each day offers countless opportunities to practice true love, from the way we treat ourselves to the way we interact with strangers. Whether we are offering a kind word, sharing in someone's joy, or letting go of attachment, we are living the Buddha's timeless wisdom on love. True love, when cultivated with intention and mindfulness, becomes a source of strength, healing, and joy that transcends boundaries and transforms lives. True love is often misunderstood in a world where attachment and desire frequently masquerade as genuine affection. The Buddha illuminated a path where true love is not rooted in clinging or possession, but in freedom and liberation. Attachment, with its grip of fear and dependency, binds us to expectations that often lead to disappointment and suffering. True love, in contrast, seeks to uplift, support, and nurture without the need to control or possess. It is a selfless and expansive form of care that allows for the flourishing of both the giver and the receiver. When we love someone deeply, our primary wish is for their happiness, even if that happiness is not connected to us. This kind of love requires immense courage and inner strength because it challenges our ego-driven desires. We often want our loved ones to stay close, to act in ways that comfort us, and to fulfill our expectations. But the Buddha's wisdom reminds us that clinging to these desires is not love. It is attachment disguised as affection. Love that liberates, however, gives without conditions and allows others to be their truest selves. This freedom in love becomes particularly evident when we face moments of letting go. To love without attachment means to recognize the impermanence of all things, including relationships. When circumstances change or people grow apart, true love finds peace in wishing them well on their journey, even if it diverges from our own. This is not a passive acceptance, but an active celebration of their freedom and individuality. It is the purest form of love because it seeks nothing in return. The principle of freedom also applies to how we treat ourselves. Self-love is not about self-indulgence or chasing perfection. It is about accepting ourselves as we are, with all our strengths and flaws. Often we burden ourselves with expectations of who we should be, striving endlessly for an ideal that may never be attainable. This creates a cycle of self-judgment and dissatisfaction, which stifles our ability to love ourselves authentically. By releasing these expectations and embracing our imperfections, we create space for growth and genuine self-compassion. When we stop demanding perfection from ourselves, we naturally begin to extend the same grace to others. This shift creates a ripple effect in our relationships. Instead of trying to mold others to fit our vision of who they should be, we learn to appreciate them for who they truly are. This acceptance forms the foundation of deeper and more meaningful connections, where both parties feel seen, valued, and respected. True love does not seek to fix or change. It seeks to understand and support. In freeing ourselves from attachment, we also free others from the weight of our expectations. Relationships thrive when both individuals feel unburdened by the fear of judgment or the need to meet unrealistic standards. When we love with a sense of freedom, we create an environment where trust, authenticity, and mutual respect can flourish. This kind of love is a gift, not a demand, and it allows both people to grow individually and together. Letting go of attachment is not synonymous with detachment. Detachment often implies a lack of care or involvement, but true love is deeply engaged and present. It is fully invested in the well-being of the other person while remaining free from possessiveness. This balance requires mindfulness and self-awareness, as well as a commitment to examining our motives and intentions in every act of love. Practicing true love in this way can be transformative. It teaches us to focus on the present moment, appreciating the time we share with our loved ones without clinging to the fear of losing them. It also helps us cultivate gratitude for the connections we have, rather than dwelling on what might be missing or what could be improved. True love thrives in the here and now, unburdened by the regrets of the past or the anxieties of the future. This perspective on love also brings clarity to the boundaries we set in our relationships. Boundaries are not barriers, they are expressions of respect for ourselves and others. They ensure that love remains healthy, mutual, and free from the toxicity of overdependence or control. When we establish boundaries with love and compassion, we honor our own needs while also respecting the needs of those we care about. True love, as the Buddha described it, is not confined to romantic relationships. It extends to all forms of connection, family, friendships, and even our interactions with strangers. The qualities of loving kindness, compassion, and non-attachment are universal and can be applied to every relationship in our lives. By practicing these principles, we cultivate a love that is expansive and all-encompassing. This expansive love also includes our relationship with the world around us. When we view nature, other beings, and the planet itself with the same lens of freedom and compassion, we develop a sense of interconnectedness that transcends individual desires. True love recognizes that our well-being is intertwined with the well-being of all living things, fostering a sense of responsibility and care for the larger whole. Practicing true love requires patience and dedication. It is not something we master overnight. There will be moments when attachment resurfaces, pulling us back into patterns of clinging and fear. But each time we notice this, we have an opportunity to return to the path of freedom. Mindfulness and meditation can be powerful tools in this journey, helping us to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment and gently guiding us back to the principles of true love. As we deepen our understanding of true love, we begin to see that it is not limited by time or space. Even when relationships change, the love we have cultivated remains. It exists as a wish for the happiness and well-being of others, carried forward in our actions and thoughts. This realization brings a sense of peace and continuity, reminding us that love is never truly lost. It transforms and evolves. In many ways, true love is a practice of letting go, not in the sense of giving up, but in releasing the illusions and fears that hold us back from experiencing love fully. It is a journey of opening our hearts, widening our perspective, and embracing the beauty of impermanence. By letting go, we make room for love to flow freely, unencumbered by the chains of attachment or expectation. Through the lens of true love, we begin to understand that happiness is not something we derive from others, but something we share with them. It is not about filling a void, but about overflowing with kindness and generosity. This shift in perspective allows us to approach relationships with a sense of abundance rather than scarcity, creating a foundation for joy and harmony. True love, in its purest form, liberates us from the cycle of grasping and suffering. It teaches us that the greatest gift we can offer to others is our freedom, and the greatest gift we can receive is theirs. This mutual liberation is the essence of love that transcends conditions, a love that is as vast and boundless as the sky itself. To cultivate true love in your life, the practice of being present is essential. Often, we engage in conversations while our minds are elsewhere, planning, worrying, or thinking about our responses. True love begins when we give the gift of our undivided attention. Listening with full presence allows us to truly hear not just the words spoken, but also the emotions and needs behind them. When loved ones feel heard and understood, it creates a sense of safety and trust that strengthens the bond between us. Being present is not just about hearing, it's about seeing. Take a moment to truly notice your loved ones, the expressions on their faces, the tone of their voices, and the small gestures they make. These details are often overlooked in our busy lives, yet they hold the essence of connection. When we slow down and observe with mindful attention, we discover deeper layers of the people we love, enriching our relationships and fostering a sense of intimacy. Gratitude is another cornerstone of mindful loving. It's easy to take for granted the people who bring joy and support into our lives. Regularly expressing appreciation reminds us of their value and strengthens the bond we share. Gratitude doesn't have to be grand or formal. It can be as simple as saying, "I'm so grateful for the way you make me laugh," or leaving a note to let someone know they are cherished. These small acts of acknowledgement are powerful reminders that love thrives when it is nurtured. Practicing gratitude also shifts our perspective. Instead of focusing on what might be missing in our relationships, we begin to see the abundance of care and kindness already present. This shift creates a positive feedback loop, where our appreciation inspires others to act lovingly in return. Over time, this cycle deepens the connections we hold dear and allows love to flourish even in challenging moments. Meditation on love is a transformative practice that helps us connect with our own hearts and extend kindness to others. To begin, find a quiet space and bring to mind someone you care about deeply. Visualize them happy, healthy, and at peace. Silently repeat phrases like, "May you be safe, may you be happy, may you be free from suffering." This practice strengthens the natural warmth of your heart and fosters a sense of well-being. As your meditation deepens, expand your focus to include people you know casually, those you have conflicts with, and even those you may never meet. The act of sending loving kindness to others dissolves barriers and reminds us of our shared humanity. It becomes a powerful tool for cultivating empathy, softening anger, and opening ourselves to the possibility of healing difficult relationships. Through the regular practice of mindful loving, we also begin to notice how we treat ourselves. True love cannot be fully expressed to others unless we learn to direct it inward. Many of us are quick to criticize our own shortcomings while easily offering forgiveness to others. By practicing self-compassion, we create a foundation of kindness within, allowing us to love others without fear or hesitation. Self-compassion involves treating ourselves as we would a dear friend. When we stumble, instead of harsh judgment, we can say to ourselves, "It's okay to feel this way. You're doing your best." Over time, this practice softens our inner dialogue and brings a sense of peace that radiates outward, improving our interactions with the world. Mindful loving also invites us to be patient. Relationships, like anything valuable, require time to grow and evolve. There will be moments of misunderstanding, frustration, and even hurt. In these times, practicing patience helps us pause and respond with care rather than reacting impulsively. This patience allows space for growth, healing, and the strengthening of trust. Another aspect of mindful loving is forgiveness. Carrying resentment weighs heavily on the heart and creates distance in relationships. By forgiving others and ourselves, we release this burden and make room for love to take its place. Forgiveness is not about condoning harm, but about choosing freedom from the pain it causes. It is an act of love for both the forgiver and the forgiven. Mindful loving encourages us to celebrate the joy of others. When a loved one experiences success or happiness, take time to genuinely rejoice in their fortune. This act of shared joy, free from envy or comparison, deepens the bond between you. It reinforces the understanding that their happiness contributes to the collective well-being of your relationship. Empathy is another pillar of mindful loving. Striving to understand the feelings and perspectives of others, even when they differ from our own, fosters connection and reduces conflict. When we approach conversations with curiosity rather than defensiveness, we create opportunities for deeper understanding and mutual respect. In moments of challenge, mindfulness reminds us to breathe. When emotions run high, a few mindful breaths can act as a reset, helping us approach situations with clarity and calm. This simple practice can prevent misunderstandings from escalating and guide us back to a place of love and understanding. Every act of mindful loving, no matter how small, contributes to a larger culture of compassion in our lives. Whether it's a kind word, a gentle touch, or simply the intention to be present, each action plants a seed of love that has the potential to grow beyond what we can imagine. These practices are not isolated. They intertwine, creating a harmonious rhythm that nurtures our relationships and ourselves. Mindful loving is not a destination, but a journey, a daily practice that unfolds moment by moment. As we cultivate presence, gratitude, compassion, and self-love, we discover that true love is not something we give or receive. It is something we become. Through this journey, we align with the profound truth that love is the essence of a life well lived. True love, as the Buddha taught, is not something external that we search for or possess. It is a profound state of being cultivated within, arising from an open heart and a peaceful mind. True love is rooted in kindness, compassion, joy, and balance, and these qualities transform the way we connect with ourselves and others. When we love in this way, our love becomes an offering, free of conditions and expectations, allowing it to flow naturally and effortlessly. Kindness, or loving kindness, forms the foundation of true love. It is the genuine wish for the happiness and well-being of others, extended without prejudice or self-interest. This love starts within us, as we learn to embrace our own imperfections and treat ourselves with the same tenderness we offer to others. When we can truly be kind to ourselves, it becomes easier to extend this warmth outward to friends family, and even strangers, breaking down barriers of separation. Compassion deepens this love by recognizing the suffering in others and responding with care and understanding. True love does not turn away from pain, but meets it with courage and empathy. When we practice compassion, we begin to see that everyone carries burdens, just as we do. This awareness dissolves judgments and fosters a sense of shared humanity. By caring for the suffering of others, we nurture a love that is active and transformative, bringing healing to both giver and receiver. Joy is an often overlooked aspect of love, yet it is essential for its fullness. True love finds joy in the happiness of others, celebrating their successes and blessings as if they were our own. This joy is free from envy or competition, as it springs from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. When we cultivate this quality, love becomes a source of lightness and delight, lifting us above the weight of comparison and self-centeredness. Equanimity brings balance and stability to love, allowing it to endure through life's inevitable changes. This quality teaches us to love without clinging, to care without controlling, and to accept the impermanence of all things. When we practice equanimity, we free ourselves and others from the burden of expectations, creating a space where love can flourish without fear or attachment. It is not detachment, but a profound letting go that allows love to remain steady and pure. True love is a liberating force that transcends the limitations of ego and attachment. It does not seek to possess or bind, but rather to uplift and support. This love gives freely, not out of obligation or need, but from an overflowing sense of abundance. In loving this way, we discover that the act of loving itself is its own reward, a reflection of the boundless capacity of the human heart. Practicing true love requires mindfulness and presence. When we are fully present with others, we truly see them, hear them, and understand them. This depth of connection fosters intimacy and trust, creating relationships that are both nurturing and resilient. By bringing our awareness to the moments we share with loved ones, we enrich these interactions and deepen the bonds that unite us. Gratitude is another way to strengthen the love we cultivate. When we express genuine appreciation for the people in our lives, we affirm their value and the unique contributions they make to our happiness. Gratitude opens our hearts and reminds us of the interconnectedness of all beings, making our love more expansive and inclusive. As we continue to embody these qualities, kindness, compassion, joy, and balance, true love becomes a guiding force in our lives. It shapes our actions, informs our decisions, and deepens our relationships. Over time, it transforms not only how we love others, but also how we experience the world. Love becomes a spiritual practice, a path to awakening and liberation. Ultimately, true love leads us to a profound realization. It is not something to be acquired or achieved, but a natural expression of our deepest self. By turning inward and nurturing the seeds of love within, we find that we have everything we need to create a life filled with meaning, connection, and joy. True love is the essence of our being, a timeless wisdom that frees us and brings us closer to the truth of who we are. Let this wisdom inspire you to love more deeply, more selflessly, and with greater understanding. In doing so, you align your heart with the timeless truth. Love is the path to liberation.